What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 52 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
Pokemon Day. That's what's up.
Yeah!
The most anticipated day of the year for us at the moment.
So we normally record on Thursdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you messaged me last night and it was like, hey, we finally got an announcement of the announcement. Can we just delay recording until Friday afterwards? I'm like, oh yeah, that's way better than being a week behind. And being, hey, what do y'all think of all this stuff that might be happening? And in reality, everyone already knows about it.
Yeah. So it's what? It's currently 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. It's been about 6 hours since...
Yeah, about 6 hours.
Since the announcement happened.
So, let's just kind of just jump in here and start talking?
Yeah, sure. So, first off with the... did you even get to watch the intro to the announcement?
I did. So...
That was awesome.
This is going to be frowned upon, but I was driving.
Oh, God.
And Tiff had a doctor's appointment this morning that we had to go to. And it was out of town. And it just so happens to be that when they made this announcement, it would be when we would be driving. So I'm like, well, obviously I'm watching this. I'm not going to be behind everyone.
Yeah.
So I watched it while driving, which is probably really frowned upon. And I highly don't recommend. Don't do that, people.
Don't do that at home.
Don't do what I say. Don't do what I do what I say kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
But yes, the intro was awesome. I was telling Tiff, I'm like, there's a bunch of things here that I have no idea what they're talking about. Like they had like the AR stuff with the 3DS. I'm like, I vaguely kind of maybe remember this, but not enough to talk about it.
I didn't own a 3DS long enough to actually like use the AR stuff. I had a lot of the older peripherals, like the Pikachu I Choose You thing.
See, that was one we didn't have.
I remember getting that. I remember all the wireless adapters for the Game Boy Advance when those came out. I remember the Pokemon printer for Pokemon Snap and things like that. So
yep, didn't have one. Knew it was a thing though, because I think if I remember correctly, you could like save your pictures to your memory card and take your memory card to like Toys R Us and they would print it off there or something if I remember correctly.
It was Toys R Us and Blockbuster.
Man, two companies that literally don't exist anymore.
Right? Those were the ones. There was a Blockbuster about 30 minutes from my house when I was younger, so it was like, oh,
there was
cool.
one like 3 blocks up the road from me. And I legitimately didn't know that was a thing.
So, yeah, seeing all the old peripherals, all the old stuff was cool. Then they got into, like, the mid-2000s where I kind of just stopped playing the games in general, and, like, I had no idea what was going on.
See, there was the stuff with, like, the e-reader with cards, and, like, sitting here on my desk, I have, all my old Pokemon cards that I've been going through, and there's all these e-reader stuff. I'm just like, obviously this was a thing, but I didn't have it, so I didn't know what it was. And, like, I wasn't really playing the card game at the time, so, like, I don't really know anything about it. So that's kind of outside my expertise. And then this, Game Boy, cable. I'm just like, yeah, that's how trading was done back then,
Yeah.
Like, and then they bring out, like, the 4-way cable. I'm just like, did not have that one.
That one, yeah, I have that one. That one was great. So because
they bring out like the wireless adapter trading cable for the Game Boy Advance. I'm like, that was a thing?
Yeah, that was a thing as well.
Yeah, don't remember that one at all.
It was after GameCube had came out and they were doing connectivity with the GameCube because the same adapter, they took the same adapter setup that they used for the Game Boy Advance and then they just made it wireless for Game Boys.
Oh, cool.
Which
and
is
then,
really cool.
Then we get into like the 3DS era and there's like the USB connectivity thing. I'm just like, no idea what that was. Because when Diamond and Pearl came out, the way our internet was set up, I couldn't connect my I couldn't connect my DS to the internet. And my dad wouldn't let me interfere. Like, he wouldn't let me mess with the router to set it up where I could.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, what year did Diamond and Pearl come out? 15 years ago, so I was 10. So I understand why you wouldn't let a 10, 11-year-old mess with the router, because that probably leads to bad things happening.
Probably.
So that was one I'm just like, yeah, no idea. I never got to do anything online for Diamond and Pearl, so like, yeah, whatever. Same with like X and Y and Black and White when it came out. Never really got to do anything for it.
Didn't play Gen 4, didn't play Gen 5, so.
See, and I did. I played a lot of those. I have my brother's copy of Platinum around here somewhere. My copies of Black and White are here on the desk with me. You know, like, I've been playing Pokemon, and it's been literally the one franchise I have always played. Basically everything that ever has come out.
You say I'm showing my age. I have this guy still, the big fat Game Boy with Pokemon Red in it. That's all I do anymore. Like, I'll sit there if I'm bored and I'll play Pokemon Red for 30, 40 minutes.
For those who have been following us on YouTube know that I've been playing Stadium 2, so like getting back to my roots there, which was a game that I never owned growing up. So it was something that we there was a video and game store that, you know, let us rent games back then. That had it, and so my brother and I rented it multiple times so we could play like all the mini games and all that, and that's literally the memories of it that I remember. Mm-hmm. But like my copy of Stadium 1 is sitting here on the desk, like I have it and everything, and I've played through it 100 times.
So I have your copy of Snap at the house
right
now.
Yeah, you literally have my copy of Snap. And so like obviously I played through it, and you know, it's just like, yeah, all this stuff over the last 25 years has been awesome. There's been a ton of it that I've been included in. I think the only like the only games I haven't played are like the Mystery Dungeon games, which
those are actually, after having never played one and playing the one remake for the Switch, they're actually enjoyable. Like, I didn't think I would enjoy it, and they're great.
I have one of them for the 3DS that I got. One of the Walmarts that I was at was doing a like real big unload of all their 3DS games, so I got it for like $10 or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll pick this up. I'll probably play it. And I never got too far into it, but far enough that, yeah, I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I was telling Tiff that she would probably really enjoy that game because she enjoys like those RPG games, but not like turn-based stuff like this, and you know, so yeah, I think it's a game she would enjoy.
Yeah, it's much more up her alley. My wife would probably enjoy it as well. It's not really a hardcore Pokemon game. It's more of a kind of like a spin-off, which it's cool because these games that they announced for the next like year of Pokemon it all kind of fits into those weird little categories of like, are they mainline games? Are they not mainline games? Like, where do these fit? And when we get into those, well, I have a whole list of things to talk about. Game
You have a whole rant prepared.
It's not a rant. It's more like what Pokemon's decisions mean and what this means for the new like series moving on and things like that. Because you can get a lot out of like from a game design background of, okay, they did this for this reason. They did this because of this, and what these mean for heading on down the line and what to expect for 2022 and so on and so forth.
And then the other one that I really never got into was like Pokken or Pokken.
Pokken.
Is it pronounced Pokken?
Oh my goodness, Pokken. Don't even get me started on Pokken.
That's definitely your wheelhouse, and I know Karibo's really into it on Discord, and I think there's one other person. I know it's really like you and Karibo are the two that are really into it.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of Pokken. It is everything I want in a fighter with the characters I actually recognize and like. Whereas like Tekken and Street Fighter, I never really got into those because they're strictly arcade games for a while, and I never got to go to arcades, so I never really got into those franchises. But was definitely a big Smash fan, but now that I'm older, I can't really play Pokken the way everybody else does. My hands don't do the movement for it anymore. So I can't really. I get to enjoy it by watching it. I don't get to enjoy it by playing it anymore. Which part of the the Players Cup 3 is Pokken this time around. So I'm excited to see that stuff again.
See, one that I was really into as a kid was the TCG, and like I've talked about going through all my stuff here lately, and just going through the year's worth of cards that I have on my desk that I've gone through the last couple days. And, the worst part is like, this is just like 1 or 2 binders that I've gone through. And I know there's, my brother and I, we both had these like big 2-inch binders, and they had like, it was like Pikachu and Snorlax and like, I think Chansey on the front. I'll have to look it up, and I'll send you a link so you can throw it up on screen. But we both had one of them, and they were chopped full of just cards. And I know if I could find it now, that would be a down payment on a house. Like legitimately, the way card prices have gone insane here lately.
Yeah, which is weird. You think COVID would drive paper card prices down like it has for other trading card games like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And other things like that. No, Pokemon's got the opposite problem. They can't keep stock.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And like there's a real big shortage right now of like trading cards in the current sales and stuff like that. So it's really crazy just how much things have changed over the last year, because it used to be that Pokemon stuff was fairly inexpensive, and like Magic was a really expensive card game that granted you and I were really into a year ago.
Yeah.
And now it's like, man, my old Pokemon cards are worth how much? Like,
exactly.
Just going through these binders, it's like, okay, cool. That's $70. That's $100. I'm like, holy cow, there is so much here that I didn't know about. And it's like, here's this just random first edition Charmander, right?
Yep.
$25. I'm just like, holy cow.
Just random stuff like that is expensive. I didn't really get into the TCG too much for Pokemon. I got a lot of secondhand cards. I got sent a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
Like, I had my parents had friends whose kids were into it, and then they got out of it. And by the time they were getting out of it, it was about my age to be getting into Pokemon. So they'd send me that stuff. So it was cool just like to have that stuff and collect it, but I actually don't have any of it anymore. I don't know where any of it's at. And then after that, I kind of didn't get back into TCGs until probably Magic, and like when I was like 13 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I've been playing Pokemon. Technically, we've been playing Pokemon longer than we've been playing Magic, but like I always tell like how I've been playing Magic for almost half my life. I've been playing Pokemon apparently since I was like 7. Which is insane.
And like that was the 2 really big things growing up for me. Was there was Pokemon, and there was Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the other one that my brother and I were really into. And that's a whole nother story for another day of like prices of it now. But man, some of this old stuff is worth so much that I never would have anticipated growing up.
For sure.
Like here above me, I don't know if Carl has it on screen, but I have my base set cards, all the starters up there. And when I posted on Discord, people were like, oh, your Charizard's only a base set 2. That's so lame. I'm like, do you know how much of a difference that is?
It's a lot.
I'm like, I would love to upgrade it, but I'm not going to go drop $300 plus trade this one in towards it.
Exactly.
Like, I'll just hold on to the sentimental value of holding on to this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just absurd of everything that has culminated to where we are now.
Exactly.
And I think that's a perfect kind of segue into what's coming up. You know, so about last year we got information that they are making a new Snap.
It was about the time for Crown Armor information, I believe. was about the
Those
same
are
time.
two very different things. We have the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, which
no, like both of them. Like when we got information about
the original, the original DLC announcement. I think
that's when we got information on these guys. It was somewhere in there between Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, Crown and Armor somewhere in there.
Gotcha. Now I'm following you. And there was a little bit of stuff over the last year. You know, there's the one thing that like really sticks out to me was there was always this like rainbow outlined Meganium that was in one of the trailers that we never really knew what it was. Like, is this shiny? Like, what is going on here? And we finally found out today that it's part of your new tools that you're gonna have for Snap that Professor Muir has designed. I forget exactly what it's called. I think a Luma Ball or something like that.
Lumina Ball or something like that. It's called the Mysterious Illumina Phenomenon.
Cool.
Something about Pokemon and vegetation seem to glow in the new Pokemon Snap game. You can mimic it with the ball. This is orb. This like I'll have a picture.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like this weird blue orb with like triangles on it and this weird line, and it lights Pokemon up and it lights things up and it makes it look pretty and cool.
And it changes what they do and like stuff like that.
Score Bunny's fire turned blue when you hit with the ball, hit with the Lumina orb.
Which is really cool. Like it looked really cool. So we finally got some more information about that, and like obviously we've known it's coming out in April for a while. I think it was the second trailer they announced that the announcement of when it was coming out. So
yeah,
I've had my copy pre-ordered for quite a while now. Can't wait to get it in and actually play it. I know you've been talking about doing it for doing a Let's Play for YouTube as well.
Yeah,
for quite a while.
That. Yeah, Pokemon Snap is one of my favorite like offshoot games from just the Pokemon franchise. I used to speedrun the old Pokemon Snap a ton. Like we mentioned earlier, I have your copy at the house right now. I play through it every once in a while.
Just sit down and casually play through the game again. Yeah. You know, honestly, the old game, like, it was like 5-6 hours of good content back in the day. And now it's probably less than that if you really want to go through it. I don't know speedrunning tech or anything like that for it.
Speedrun is 30 minutes.
Cool.
To get from the beginning to Mew, it's 30 minutes.
Cool. So that shows exactly what I know about it.
I believe all completing the Pokedex takes roughly 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like going through and getting all the special pictures and whatnot takes a little bit longer than that. So
something that they showcased that I was really excited about was getting to like edit and share photos, which, like, you know, we talked about printing off stuff back in the day. Now it's all on the Switch. Like, now your console has internet capabilities. You can just upload stuff.
Yeah, you get to upload it to your phone, to the internet, and you can print it off there. It's really cool. And also, I think just like being able to edit, it's great.
They talked about having it like having your pictures featured if enough people liked it and stuff. I'm like, dude, that's super cool. Getting to be able to go in and see what people have done in this game. It like, dude, that's something that had you told 6-year-old Carter this is something people can do, it would have blown my mind.
Right?
You know? So, like, I am very excited for this game. It looks absolutely adorable. There was a scene where the Venusaur was like diving off the rock and landing in the pond or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, that is fantastic. That is beautiful. It's like big old frog jumping in the lake.
Yep. Looking through how they like do completionist things here, back in Pokemon Snap, the first one, you would like try to get special photos, get them to do special poses, things like that. It looks like there is a 4-tier system. There's like basic 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and then like special poses are now considered a 4-star photo. Mm-hmm. And they're worth a ton of points, so it's trying to figure out like now you get to play. Now there's like more playthrough all the time, because after you get even if you get your 4-star the first round, you want to go back and get the 1. You want to go back and get the 2 and do all that stuff.
You want to be special and complete the Pokedex, as they're calling it, which I think is awesome. And just, man, the art style of this game, I think, is fantastic. I can't stress that enough. The way they have brought the Pokemon to life and actually make them interact with each other, and just the way it looks and the way it looks like it feels is fantastic.
Yeah, agreed. Super excited to play this when the time comes. It's about from here, it's about 2 months away.
About 2 months, yep.
A little bit less than that, technically, because February's a weird month, but...
And another one that like really stuck out with me during this was they talked about the Alolan Raichu surfing. I'm like, yeah, that's super cool. Like that's something.
Just little things like that's cool to notice.
Obviously, Raichu can learn surf, but like actually getting to see it do the thing is so cool. It's so different than anything you see in the main series titles.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's absolutely adorable.
Seeing the graphics and whatnot for this new Snap game shows that Pokemon's figured out, hey, this is how we're probably going to do things from now on. And when we get to the rest of these games, you can kind of see it, like how that model style sticks around, how that graphic style stays around after this game. Which, looking at like everyone's biggest complaint on Sword and Shield is like, haha, can't render tree, haha, can't render grass. I'm like, do you know how much like information is actually in Sword and Shield on that one little itty bitty cartridge?
Even if it doesn't look perfect, it still looks fine. Like,
it looks good enough for the Switch in handheld mode. Like,
yep.
You don't play HD games on a Switch in handheld mode. I think it's native is 720p. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you don't have to have all those detailed graphics means you just get to save that extra space and put a little bit of extra work into other stuff. So
which man, the way that Sword and Shield looks compared to Snap is just astronomical worlds of difference.
Oh yeah, it's like light and day. But when you don't have to save 1 million stats and 1 million data points and things like that, all you got to do is just have models.
Yep, that's all it cares about.
It's less data. Yep.
I'm interested to see if it's going to be the same way that the original was, where, obviously it's an on-rail shooter, but I wonder if it's going to be, okay, if you do this at this point, this always happens, or there's going to be a little bit of randomness to get these better photos every time. Like, is it guaranteed that Venusaur's going to jump in the lake every time? Or is there just going to be some times where he just sits down on top of the rock?
Yeah.
And so being able to capture that moment makes it worth more and therefore replayable.
Exactly. I'm interested in the day-night cycle system. I want to see if that applies to just like IRL time, or if it's just like randomness sometimes when like in the game. Like, or it just happens to be night now. If
it's, okay, go through the jungle during day. Okay, now you've unlocked jungle at night.
Yeah.
And these are 2 separate courses that you can do whenever you want. Yeah, I'm really interested in this game, and I cannot wait for it to actually come out.
Same. You ready to move on to the meat and potatoes, though? Because this is the thing people have been like hinting and asking for a while now.
But Carl, that was the big news. We have updates for Snap. I don't know what else you were talking about.
You mean you don't know about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl?
Yeah, that's old news, man.
Ocean Pearl and Sky Diamond, or
it's Dazzling Diamond and I got nothing.
Gen 4 remakes got announced with all of this going on. Honestly, their name choices are kind of iffy, but whatever.
It's a little bizarre. I would have gone probably if these are the 2, I probably would have gone with Shining Diamond. That feels like it rolls a little better and actually is a descriptor of the word diamond. But I don't get paid tens of thousands of dollars to make Pokemon games every year.
Yeah, you're not the marketing team. So Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, they are been defined as faithful remakes of Gen 4.
Yep.
They have a very cute, chibi top-down overworld style, very reminiscent of Link's Awakening DX for the Switch.
Yeah, honestly, that's a really good descriptor of this art style. I kind of described it as like, it's kind of like ORAS, but not really. Like, it takes ORAS to the next level, it feels like, where it's chibi, but this is like extra chibi.
Yeah, this is extra cute. Which is good.
Honestly, I think is fine. I think this fits for what we're doing here with Diamond and Pearl.
And the battle system, they're like, you go back to full size, so you don't stay chibi cute adorable because the camera's zoomed in, so you get to see the whole character and the whole model and things like that.
That being said, I would have loved to see Chibi Cynthia and Chibi Garchomp in battle. I think that would have been amazing.
So these are, I think this, like you were telling me, this is like one of the first main series games not developed directly by Game Freak.
Yeah,
they had the people that helped develop Home take care of the development on this game,
which is really interesting. It's a really weird design choice in my opinion because, as we'll talk about here after a while, Game Freak kind of has been doing other things.
Yeah, Game Freak's been working on other stuff, and with COVID and everything, staffing is low. So my idea here is most of the Game Freak staff worked on the other project, and what we're getting here is essentially just like pull the textures off the original game. Here's all the maps and model files. Make your textures, make your characters. Here's all the Pokemon 3D models we've been working on since Snap. Because I'm pretty sure Snap has a bunch of stuff in it. Add it all on there. There you go. Which honestly isn't hard to do for anybody to do. It's not any different than you see the people making ROM hacks of Pokemon games and things like that. So having someone else do the work for them that is already attached to the whole Pokemon franchise, since they helped develop Home, they also just tagged along for this. That's fine, I feel like. It's not like they gave it to some random third party to make a game.
Exactly. Like, this is someone who is working with the Pokemon company in their development and knows what they're doing here. So it's interesting to see them being thrown into making a game, because I think there's a very big difference between making a game and making a storage system. Like, granted, I am not a game developer. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I have literally no idea what it would take to do something like this. But on paper, this seems like a much bigger project than Home. And understandably so,
Yeah,
especially
it's kind of walks the fine line, because if we were making a game from scratch, it'd be a lot harder for sure.
Oh, for sure.
You have to design your levels, design your areas, things like that. Because this was already a design game and they wanted to be, their words, faithful to Gen 4, they didn't have to do anything. It was literally pull textures, add new textures.
And on top of that, it's not like they are taking creative liberties in making this, right? Like, Masuda, who was the original game designer or lead director for Diamond and Pearl, is the director for this as well.
It's not like they were doing anything different.
Correct. It is a faithful remastering of a classic.
Yeah.
That being said, something like I'm sitting here rewatching this trailer over and over as we talk about this. So I can't remember what the city's called. It's where the second gym is.
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh, I cannot remember. But there's a statue, okay? And the way the game was designed back on the DS is, depending on which game you played, either Diamond or Pearl, the statue was of whatever legendary it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, in coding, it's the same statue for both games.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same sprite model. So, I do remember that. Yeah.
I'm sitting here, and they have a screenshot of the statue, and honestly, I see what they're going for. Of like, it kind of just looks like an amalgamation of Dialga and Palkia slammed together, because like, when you think about what this game actually is, and like thinking as a member of the Pokemon universe, they don't know what Palkia and Dialga look like. So this statue looking kind of like an amalgamation makes sense.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they're trying to tie it in to make it look like both of them to be faithful to the original is cool. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is what people want. Kinda.
Yeah, it's the generation they wanted, not really the art style they were expecting, and I believe later on when we get into the nitty-gritty, it's not going to be the main series game people are looking for.
Correct.
This is going to be more of a Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee style of game, where it is, here's these remakes of a different generation. We're going to still play VGC on Sword and Shield, though. We're not going away from this anytime soon. But here's these supplemental games to keep casual players interested while VGC gets to
continues doing its thing. Yeah. That being said, I do think this is going to be compatible with home. Granted, we have literally no facts behind everything. Like, this is based on what we know. This is what I want and what I hope happens is what I'm saying here. I'm hoping that this is compatible with home so we can actually integrate and bring these Pokemon over to Sword and Shield. The big ones are like, we talked about last week, like we're missing Gen 2 starters. We're missing Gen 4 starters, which notably, like Infernape and Empoleon, I think are really interesting from a competitive standpoint. Having access to Iron Fist for Infernape's hidden ability makes it where you can actually put out a lot of damage having stuff like Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, etc., etc. And then like Empoleon has access to Defiant, which, as we know, intimidates really good in the current format, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So being able to get to a +1 Empoleon, even if its special attack is higher, like, I think that's still just fine. I think it adds another dynamic that people are going to have to learn how to play around.
Yeah.
So I would like to see some type of integration between these two so you can bring in additional Pokemon as needed. But I think it's interesting to just be able to have it as its own game too. I think if there is no integration, there is nothing related to this, this is going to be enjoyable. Like, I believe there's an MSRP rating and stuff and like information related to this. And there was something that said 1 to 4 players online. So like, we know there's going to be some type of online play. Probably, like, for sure it's going to have the underground because this is a faithful remastering. Yeah. And that's something growing up I never got to do because I couldn't connect to the internet. So I'm interested to see what that actually entails, if it's actually cool, if it's fun. But this is not, okay, here's Gen 4, okay, bring in all the Pokemon post-game, so now you have a national dex, go play, online laddering.
I don't think that's
I don't think that's what this game's going to be. The more I talk about this and the more I've watched and the more I've read on it.
Yeah, this, if there is any home integration, I expect it to be from here to home, and if it goes from home to anything else, it can't come back. I'm expecting Let's Go Pikachu Eevee style of once integration, it's gone, if it goes on to something else, it can't come back. Like, it's not going to come back. So I've never actually played Gen 4, so I'm excited to play it no matter what happens with it. But this is definitely not going to be our VGC game anytime soon. I feel like they put so much work into Sword and Shield, making it to where VGC is such an easy thing to do, that going to this and making this the VGC game is just actually just like 10 steps backwards. It makes it so much harder to get in. If this is a faithful remake, they don't have any of the extra stuff that Sword and Shield gives you, and what are you going to do now?
I would be interested in seeing how strict they are on that faithful remastering, and seeing if there is stuff post-game where it's like, all right, here's your quality of life changes that we've made over the last, 15 years that this game has been out. And honestly, I'm anticipating quality of life changes as is. Like, I'm anticipating them updating your TMs to be multiple uses. Like, that was something back then that we didn't have. I'm expecting your repels to be able to be reapplied. Like, again, something we didn't have.
More infinite weather.
Dude, yeah. Like, that was something we changed in Gen 6, and like, obviously Gen 5 was a weather wars, but like, that's something really big back then. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely think there's going to be a lot related to this game, and I'm very, very excited to be able to play through this. But it's not the main series title that people anticipated. And honestly, I'm fine with that. Same. I am very excited to jump in and be able to play this, because Gen 4 for a very long time was my least favorite generation of Pokemon. It wasn't until I went back and played Platinum that I realized, hey, my criticisms of Diamond and Pearl are accurate. Platinum definitely improves that, but as a whole, the Sinnoh region and what it does for Pokemon is very impactful. There's a lot of things that Gen 4 did that I think were very good. The big one obviously being the physical special split. Like, back then, like, take something like Kingler. Kingler's the one I always think of when we talk about stuff that benefited the most from physical special split. You literally could not have a physical water type for Kingler to use until Gen 4. So, like, until then, it was just completely unviable to even be considered to play because you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited, and I cannot wait to actually get this. It is coming out late 2021, which
for those that have any kind of knowledge of Pokemon, that means November. End of November,
guaranteed.
Early December.
It will be November 2021, right before Christmas, right before Black Friday. So this will come out, and then people will be in the stores and buy it up.
Yep.
This is holiday season 2021 is what late 2021 means.
Yeah. So pre-order.
I will be getting my physical copy. Talking with Tiff, she's like, man, I just really like having physical copies of stuff. I think it makes it where collecting stuff is way more cool. Like having these old cases where, I have my Diamond copy around here. I have my case. I don't have the game anymore, but I have my case for Diamond. It's like, that's a cool thing. Like, in today's era where you can just digital download things, those aren't things that everyone has.
Yeah. I am a big proponent of hard copies of everything.
Yep.
Like, I hate having just digital copies of games, and I will definitely be getting hard copies of both versions. One for me, one for my wife. We've already decided that I'm the one getting stuck with Diamond, and she's getting Pearl.
We probably also will get both, but I'm probably going to play through Pearl because I played through Diamond as a kid. Growing up, I always had the first one of the group. Like, whenever you presented, you had, gold and silver, or you had
Sapphire.
I guess that's not always true, but like starting from Gen 3 forward, I did, because I have silver sitting here on my desk. But like, I had Ruby, I had Diamond, I had Black, I had Y, because I thought Yveltal was way cooler than Xerneas.
100% fact.
Literally the reason I bought Y was, I'm like, yeah, Yveltal looks cooler.
Yeah.
Edgy teenager Carter was accurate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've always had the second one. I had Sapphire. I didn't play Diamond and Pearl, but I ended up with Y, and then when I got when I met my wife and everything, we started playing Pokemon together, she'd always want the first one. She got Sun. Well, that means I got Moon. Then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out. Well, she got Ultra Sun, and I got Ultra Moon. And let's go Pikachu and Eevee. So that's where we swapped because my wife loves Eevee. Like, there was no way to get around that.
That's why we have Eevee, because Tiff wanted Eevee.
And then Sword and Shield went back the other way. She has Sword, I have Shield. So getting Diamond is like just like a concession for her, which like from her, which is cool. Means I get to be first again, which is
for
nice.
The first time.
Yeah. So yeah, we've kind of rambled on here about this for a while. But we're not done in the Sinnoh region yet.
Oh no,
not even
close. So moving from modern day Sinnoh, we're going back in time.
Where's the time machine? Hit the button.
But like, this is real bizarre, and not something I anticipated. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. Something that no one anticipated happening.
So the cool thing here is people have been asking for this for a while. Like, they've been asking for a game like this.
But I don't think anyone actually anticipated it happening.
No one ever saw it coming to, like, especially this soon. Like, maybe 5 years down the road when Pokemon has exhausted all the resources, then they do this. No, they're going to get started now. So what we're talking about here is Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Which
confirmed Arceus.
Can we talk about that for a second?
It's confirmed K-Sound.
I have literally never called it Arceus until now.
Confirmed K-Sound by Pokemon.
Arceus. Yeah, it has to be Arceus, which I am concerned about because that's not how I've ever said it, and it's weird, and I don't like change.
To be fair, we mispronounce Pokemon names all the time, so it doesn't even matter. It's nice to know that one of the hardest names to pronounce in the game that everyone always fights over is Arceus. So Pokemon Legends here is defined as a single-player adventure RPG.
Which is very different compared to main series titles for a multitude of reasons. The big one being, this is an action RPG. The emphasis there on the word action.
You are doing stuff. You are actively doing stuff. You're not like a cog in a machine just walking down and doing something. You are actively hunting and catching and progressing. My favorite showcase of that is there's this scene where Dawn is like running, right? And then she like rolls into the bush in front of her, into the grass in front of her. Like, all ninja style?
That is literally nothing you have ever seen in a Pokemon game before. You don't move agile like. You ride a bike or you run. You don't roll. Yeah. You don't hide in the grass to catch Pokemon. You know, those aren't things that happen.
Exactly.
So this is so cool. Like, actually sitting here watching this again, there's just so many things I did not catch the first time. Again, I was driving when I was watching this. Don't do that. But, so something that's really interesting to me is this is an old Sinnoh, is what they've, like, canonically speaking, this is the olden time. We are going through and completing the first Pokedex.
Yeah, this has been defined as, like, feudal Sinnoh. Mm-hmm. Since most Pokemon regions are based off of Japan, this is like feudal age and whatnot. You can see it in the architecture, you can see it in the clothes and things like that. Which even when you go down to the Pokeball, one of the early Pokeballs,
they talk about
has that kind of look.
It says the Pokeballs of old were apparently built a little differently from the ones we know so well. They were made mostly of wood and steam puffed from their tops when Pokemon were caught. Like, dude, that's so cool. It's so different compared to what it is now.
fun fact, this is what I always thought Apple Balls were like.
Dude,
when
same!
Kurt made them in Gen 2. Is something like some weird mechanical contraption with like metal clasps and gears and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is really cool. So interesting. I just like another thing, like when people like watching this, there's still like turn-based combat is what it looks like, having this.
Yes, it's confirmed that it's turn-based cool. Combat. 6 Pokemon, things like that.
But what's really interesting about this is like, I'm assuming the story is okay. Go and record every Pokemon in this region, including but not limited to the god itself, Arceus.
Yeah, it's like the whole premise of the story is trying to find out the story behind Arceus, I'm assuming, via catching all the Pokemon and exploring the region and things like that.
And obviously, as you explore, you get to see new Pokemon. And like, what's really interesting about this is like, in like the opening cinematic here, you know, it has this journal that they open up and then like cuts to drawings of like this scene, and there's like Piplup on the beach next to like Celio and Spheal. Like, if I remember correctly, I believe neither of those were in, like, I don't believe the Spheal line was in Diamond and Pearl.
I don't know.
I have Cerebi open. Let me look.
Sweet. While you do that, I'm going to talk about the starter Pokemon picks.
Yeah, that's another one.
So this is cool because your professor that arrives picked these up from the other regions as they're going around and exploring the world of Pokemon, which is super cool.
Oh, evidently you can get them. You can get Spheal in Pearl, which I did not know.
Well, now you know.
Seeing how I played Diamond, I had literally no idea that was possible. Okay, continue.
So your Pokemon starters, when I saw them, I was hoping it's like pulls from the random pool of starters, like grabs a random grass, grabs a random fire, grabs a random water, which would make the speed run really cool.
It's like, all right, well, starter sucks, reset.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, you want specific starters to pop up, and then you can just do something like that. Well, now that there's a set of starters, it's Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott.
I made a joke on Discord today. Someone was talking about so on Twitter right now, Unova is now trending because I guess the Gen 5ers are now calling for their remakes, which I'm honestly not surprised by. But someone was like, "Hey, you know, please don't, because those are the worst starters." I'm like, actually, I'm pretty sure they just picked the worst starters for Arceus. So,
I don't know about that. Cyndaquil is one of the higher ranked fire starters for a lot of people. It is literally
a reskin Charmander.
People still like it.
It's true. And like, of these three, I'm probably going to pick Rowlet. To be 100% honest, this is probably going to be one of the few times I don't pick the fire starter.
I'm actually probably picking the fire starter because I don't like Rowlet and I don't like Oshawott.
To be fair, Oshawott is absolutely adorable. I will never discredit that. I think Oshawott as a Pokemon is perfect. Samurott, though, is absolutely horrid, and it shouldn't exist.
Yeah, no, I want Typhlosion. That's the reason why. I want the big badass fire echidna.
So yeah, it's really interesting that it's like, all right, well, here's these 3 Pokemon from 3 different regions. You get to pick one of these to start, which honestly is super cool. And what's really cool about this is like, we get to see Piplups in the wild. Like, we get to see these Pokemon that are
Piplup, Chimchar, and Turtwig all in the wild, which was really cool.
Which you just don't see. You don't see your starter Pokemon in the wild. So it makes me question if, like, for Gen 1, you can only get one of those in a game. It makes you curious what happens over time to make it where you can't get these anymore.
Well, I actually explained that because starters are predominantly male.
Mm-hmm.
The male to female ratio is lower, so eventually you run out of females. So your population dwindles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's exactly how that works. That's just how endangered species work.
Yeah,
when there's more males to females.
That's how science says it happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're designed that way. And so they're considered rare. But back then, the numbers were probably higher on both genders, so it didn't really matter too much. But as time moved on and people caught these Pokemon and didn't breed them and things like that, it dwindled them down to where these starters are more rare.
So, man, cool. I'm sitting here continuously watching this one, too, because I think this trailer is so cool.
For those that didn't get to watch it, the art style is very Breath of the Wild, which is really cool. It's just
very Breath of the Wild like.
We can when I start talking about the game design and theory and all this, having one look like like Link's Awakening, the remaster of that, where it's top down chibi, super cute, and then here's Breath of the Wild style, where it's open world, completely available to you, everything's ready to go. Have at it kind of gameplay is actually going to be really cool. So yeah, this like we said, the story is trying to find Arceus and things like that.
Which, honestly, the way they introduced Arceus in this trailer I feel like it was just kind of forced. And I'm hoping that's not how it feels in gameplay, because they're leading up to this region, they're identifying stuff. Here's your starter Pokemon for this game. And then they cut from that and then fade to black. Arceus is here too. And that's when you get the title screen and everything. I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's synonymous with everything else. Like, it doesn't feel cohesive with everything else that's going on with this trailer. Mm-hmm. Am I the only one who gets that vibe, or?
I think it was just the way the trailer was designed. It's like this. You don't name your game after a Pokemon and not have it be the center of attention and just force it on people like that.
For sure. And I'm glad that they didn't go, okay, here's your first interaction with Arceus. They didn't just say, all right, well, here's what you're doing, and bam, in your face about it. I think that would have been overdone, of just immediately showing you the end goal, the end result of everything you're working up to. Because it wouldn't be special the first time you see it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, just the way the rest of it feels of, okay, here's gameplay, here's how this looks. Oh, also, by the way, Arceus.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like the one thing from this trailer that kind of sticks with me that is weird. Everything else feels super cohesive, super clean, and it looks fantastic. I cannot stress how good.
Except for that Chingling that is moving at 2 frames.
Look, man, okay. This game looks fantastic, except for one thing.
I definitely think this was early beta. I believe it will, but all these graphics and everything will be cleaned up a lot.
Oh yeah, you can tell this first scene where they're zooming in over the mountain, and the rendering on the rocks looks kind of rough, and the path looks just kind of slapped on. And you can tell it even says game footage is not final. Obviously, This is not the end result. But
it's a lot of lighting issues and things like that. But they just wanted to show us something.
I think when you get to this scene where they first have Bidoof in the field of flowers, mm-hmm. Dude, that looks so clean. When you're focusing on the Pokemon and the flowers themselves, and the tree looks good. The rocks again kind of look a little disrendered. I don't know if that's the right word, but they don't look properly rendered, I guess is the proper terminology. But
it's a lot of just lights and shadowing and things like that. The textures aren't perfectly where they want them at yet, which is fine.
But again, they did announce that this is going to be early 2021, so that's probably going to be. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, 2022. So this is probably going to be the Pokemon Day release for next year. I would be very surprised if that's not the case.
I'm expecting it April.
Yeah,
April
sure.
Year.
That would also work with the timeline of when they release stuff, November and April.
So I would.
Oh man, you aren't kidding. That Chingling is dragon.
So
I hadn't actually noticed until you said something.
Which having 2 games come out so close together, that are supposed to be mainline or defined as mainline by the community is just very interesting, which kind of segues into what I want to talk about today. The rest of this is why these two? Why are we getting these? What's going on with Pokemon? This isn't what we wanted. This isn't what we expected. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to knock down all the haters right now. These aren't meant to be mainline series games.
No, they're not.
Clean and simple. They're not meant to be. They're meant to fill in voids for people that wanted certain things. People wanted Gen 4 remakes. Well, Pokemon didn't want to go backwards. Like we mentioned earlier with Sword and Shield. Anything beyond Sword and Shield should be a new generation for VGC and things like that. If you go backwards to Gen 4 and don't bring all the stuff that you introduced in Sword and Shield, you're actually hurting your VGC base. You're killing your game that way.
I also understand that your competitive players are never the ones that you need to always cater for. They're the minority of players when it comes to your games. You're always wanting to please more casuals than you would pleasing, like if you please every casual compared to every competitive player, you'd
lose money.
You're losing out way more money.
You wouldn't be a business that lasted 25 years.
Exactly. Being able to have these games that are very casually appealing while also having a competitive dynamic is what makes Pokemon thrive. So moving into this model of, okay, well, here's this game, something like specifically the Arceus game. It's like, okay, this is a open world Pokemon game that people have been wanting for a while. We're going to base it on a region that people really like with Sinnoh, and we're going to make it where it is new and exciting and completely different than anything you've seen before, while still being able to tie in to the region that people know and love and want to continue to play and explore.
Agreed. So the fact that we're getting both of these so close together means that 2022 November, when it comes time for Pokemon Day again next year, they can announce Gen 9. They can give us something else to look forward to for VGC and things like that. Those VGC players that are worried that this is like what Pokemon is doing is just like completely forgetting about us and moving on past us, it's not really true. They gave us probably one of the best VGC main titles ever in Sword and Shield, where it's all about battling, it's all about competitive and things like that. So it's nice to see that Pokemon's going back to the casual for this year, giving us the Diamond and Pearl remix that every casual player has wanted for a long time, the open world RPG that every casual player has wanted for a long time.
And like even myself, man, like I'm going to play both of these, and I'm going to play both of these into the dirt. That doesn't mean I'm not going to continue to play Sword and Shield, because I want to be able to have my competitive outlook. Like that is what you and I do here. From a casual standpoint, though, I think both of these games are home runs.
Oh, 100%. These appeal to, well, the remakes appeal to every casual player in the game. Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus, probably isn't like the best game for newer Pokemon fans.
Oh, see, I think the opposite. I think
the
if
way
anything,
the game is designed, there is much more to come across, like gameplay wise, for this game for younger audiences than it is for Diamond and Pearl remakes. If this is anything where it's an open world, there's no direction, there's no push to go out and like follow a straight set of lines, and that's why Pokemon's designed that way. Mm-hmm. It's for younger audiences. This is designed for the older Pokemon audience.
Oh, for sure. This is
not your new fan. This is your older fan that likes to play the games a lot and wants something different.
I think what Arceus is specifically going to do is I think it's going to cater to those people who have not played a Pokemon game in 2 generations, 3 generations, that see this and go, oh, this looks awesome. I've played Breath of the Wild. I've played, these other really high intense games for the Switch. I want to play this. I want this to be my return to Pokemon, as opposed to, hey, this is my first Pokemon game. Yeah, I think from a from that aspect, this is the game to bring more people back, and Diamond and Pearl is the game to bring more people in.
Yeah.
And then you get people like us who are going to buy both.
Yeah, people hardcore players like us who are gonna have pretty much every Pokemon game to begin with. Then we're going to buy it no matter what. We were going to buy it if it was Let's Go whatever Sinnoh game they wanted to make. We were going to buy it anyway. Like, I came in with zero expectations, and I'm actually, like, happy with where these are at. Like, I know Arceus looks rough right now, and it'll get better as time comes, and everyone's upset about the chibi-style Diamond and Pearl. They wanted Sword and Shield. I'm like, if you're going to get the Sword and Shield ones, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're not going to get all your Pokemon again.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a lot of data to put on those itty-bitty carts.
Which, in return, makes it where that's so much more extra data you have to have in every game that your graphical detail is going to be lower. So, do you want high-end quality game, like graphics, or do you want literally everything the series has ever had in it ever? Because the reality is, on the current hardware that Nintendo has, you can't have both.
Yeah.
It's just not actually feasible.
Not at least till we get a Pro Switch or whatever they are calling it here at the end of the year, probably. I would not be surprised if we get our Switch Pro announcement in the middle of the year, and then there is a special Switch Pro bundle with Diamond and Pearl.
Yep, sure.
Would not be surprised at all.
Ship it all. I'll buy it all.
Yeah, same.
I'd
swap over in a heartbeat.
Give me my Chimchar or my Piplup Switch, and those will sell like hotcakes.
Oh, it's not even those. Slap Dialga on the back of it.
Yeah, slap Dialga, slap Palkia, and then just like
go.
Here's an ingrained of all 3 starters on the other side. Cool, ship it.
Yeah,
that's $400.
Joy-Cons are like blue and the pearl color, and the back's got the starters on it. Sounds like a plan. So yeah, these, for those freaking out about, this is where VGC mainline games. No, this is not what we're getting. These are not our new main series games. These are remake and spin-off series to help supplement mainline games for the foreseeable future. Because having games like Pokemon Legends means that they can release a Pokemon Legends and keep the Pokemon people happy, keep the casual fan happy while they develop the next mainline game.
Yep.
Gives them an extra like 7 or 8 months of development, because I feel like this, if it's anything like Breath of the Wild, this game's going to probably have 40, 50, 60 hours easy of just trying to get all the Pokemon normally.
Yep, because, it's going to require, you have to have X number of Pokemon caught in your Pokedex, and that triggers the end battle with Arceus and blah, 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 blah. But then there's also going to be us completionists where, okay, I need literally everything. I need Piplup. If there's shiny Piplup, I need it. If there's Prinplup, I need it, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, God, could you imagine shiny hunting in this game?
Oh, it's going to look so good. If they don't bring shinies in...
overworld models, like just overworld model them into to be shiny, oh my goodness.
If they don't have shinies in this game, it would be a huge blunder, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I want to shiny hunt Arceus. Is that too much to ask?
I think that one's probably a little bit of a tall ask, but definitely go for that shiny Bidoof.
Oh yeah, give me the shiny Bidoof.
So yeah, don't fret. We'll get our new VGC game eventually.
But it's gonna be a new generation. I don't think we're getting the. I think the days of ORAS shifting over the meta are probably long gone.
Yeah, that was like a one-time thing because it was like there was actually new stuff in ORAS.
Yeah, we got like, all our new Mega Stones and stuff like that. Whereas in like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I think we added like 5 Pokemon total, I think.
I know there was 2 Ultra Beasts and then the 2 Necrozma forms.
And then, well, Necrozma was new, right? Or was it?
Necrozma was in Sun and Moon, but you didn't have the Duskmane and Dawnwings.
Okay, so it was not a new Pokemon, but 2 new forms. And then you had Poipole and Naganadel as well, which were new.
Yeah.
So
that's
4 new Pokemon and 2 new forms. But also you added in an extra, like, a non-zero amount of Z moves and stuff like that. But it wasn't enough to stray Yeah, it wasn't enough to stray away from what the original game was.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. So the only thing I can think this leads to is if they wanted to, we might still get the patch or a DLC, a third DLC for Sword and Shield. So we could do the home connectivity thing where if you take Pokemon from your Diamond and Pearl remakes, you can send them over to Sword and Shield later on if you wanted to and things like that. But especially since this is probably going to be our VGC game for the next year and a half at least, most likely. So looking at that way is just like, I'm expecting new DLC or a patch or something to where Sword and Shield gets the rest of the Pokedex in either free patch or paid patch or something, paid DLC or something like that. Not even really a new area, just like, here's the rest.
I anticipate them, like that was something I feel like was missing from this, was them doing some kind of update for Sword and Shield other than here's giant Pikachu raids. Like, that didn't really add anything to Sword and Shield.
They might be done with development of Sword and Shield, and we might just be where we're at until 2022 when we get Gen 9 or whatever, or another main series game or something like that.
And that's kind of fine in my opinion. The other thing that I was kind of hoping we would get was some kind of information about like what Series 9 is, other than here you go, we're going back to Series 7, thanks, bye.
I think, if I remember correctly, I read that the Pokemon Presents was supposed to be longer than 20 minutes, and they ended up cutting it to 20 minutes.
Gotcha, okay.
So I think it was supposed to be longer here late this... when they first announced it, I remember reading it was something about being 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or something like that, and then when they re-announced it this morning, it was cut down to 20. So, it also, I don't know if you probably weren't affected too much while you were driving because you weren't really paying attention. When we were watching it, I was watching it with the Discord and had Tim and a bunch of others with us. It abruptly ended, like halfway through the Arceus thing. It just died.
Oh, see, mine did not.
So we were suffering from lag. We were suffering from...
Mine had buffering issues. I figured it was because I was driving and had to, hit a dead zone and had to reload. But
no, there was 350,000 plus people watching on that one channel. So YouTube was overloaded. So the buffering was slowing everything down. But so when the premiere ended, it cut everyone off who was still watching. Because we were all about 3 minutes behind the end, and the premiere on YouTube ended, so it kicked us all off.
Weird.
So we had to go back and watch the end.
Yeah, I watched it with the premiere, so that would explain why I didn't get dropped off, because I actually watched it when it was.
With all the buffering we had, we got put behind.
Yep.
So when premieres are timed on YouTube, so when the time limit of the video ends, it kicks everyone off and restarts. The live play is over for the most part. This is a better way to put it. So going in and seeing that they just right there at the end of Arceus, bam, 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 end. I'm just like, this seemed a little rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seemed like you cut and paste the end onto the video after Arceus and didn't have anything else to announce because we got no Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, literal nothing from Unite, which I'm kind of not surprised by, seeing how they made a individual trailer for it and they couldn't have it with anything else. But I think it would have been good to be like, hey, by the way, if you're in Canada, here's the open beta that you can participate in.
The reason I was expecting it because this is a Pokemon Presents and not a Nintendo Direct. This is anything Game Freak is affiliated with and Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
They can present that here, which Pokemon Unite fits that category.
Yep.
So not getting any Pokemon Unite information was very odd to me, and not hearing anything like crazy about Sword and Shield. I think they mentioned the Gmax Pikachu raid event for like 10 seconds.
Yep, that was literally it. They talked about Go saying, okay, here's your Kanto Legends have fun with those. But I mean, those have been up for a week.
Those have been out for a week and a half now.
And then you had the Masters EX, which is like, all right, here's Leon, have fun. Like,
well, that came out earlier in the week too.
Yeah, so there wasn't, and like the Pikachu raids, those had already started too. So there wasn't anything for their existing games that they're like, all right, here's something that happens today.
Or here's something that happens tomorrow and the next weekend and things like that. I'm just like, this was a very lackluster, 25 announcements. We got no TCG information, period.
What do you mean? They showed 3 people playing it multiple times over the course of the intro. That's good enough, Carl.
That's not
good
enough.
They also said anime 8 times. Which I think is half the number of times they said cable.
When you describe your Pokemon Presents as, we're going to talk about this and this and this and this, and it's going to be 30 to 40 minutes long, and then you cut out the tail end of it.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, and just here's Arceus, here's Diamond and Pearl Remakes, here's Snap.
Okay, bye.
It just seems like they dropped the ball there and they've had to cut something out. They're hiding something from us, Carter. Pokemon Conspiracy 2021. They're hiding stuff from us.
Oh, I could have told you that for free, Carl. I didn't realize it was something we had to actually debate and figure out. I figured that was just implied.
Oh no! This isn't a debate about it. This is to bring awareness to it. Pokemon Conspiracy 2021.
I am interested for the future. To put it very simply, I think both of these games are going to bring new players and bring old players back.
Yeah, and which is what these off years do.
And honestly, that is good enough for me. That is good enough for me to say that was successful. It felt weird not to include everything that's currently going on. I will admit that it did feel weird.
It felt very like I said, the end felt very abrupt. Like they had to cut something out and they just slapped the ending on the end of the video.
But
because usually they have pretty good transitions, but it just slap, copy, paste. Here you go.
But yeah, that's the
whole Pokemon Day announcement.
That's not true. Tomorrow we get a Post Malone concert.
That's not part of the announcement, though.
But Carl, Post Malone.
Oh no, it's because of the Hootie and the Blowfish cover.
For the record, I absolutely love that song, and so now that there's a remastering of it, with Post Malone, I'm like, all right, cool. I can get
great.
down.
The song's actually great.
Yeah, it actually is pretty decent too. It's a good cover. But have we seen what Katy Perry's doing yet?
No, probably some feature at the concert. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I might be able to watch it. Depends on what I'm doing. I might have it on the background.
I literally have no idea what time it starts.
It starts 6 p.m. our time.
I should be home. Should be. I will probably be getting stuff ready to go to bed. I will probably be in the middle of eating dinner so I can go to bed.
Well, then you can just put it on your phone and just watch it on your phone.
Yeah, but that's probably the plan. My 20,000 closest friends, or however many people watch it.
It'll be more than 20.
Yeah, probably.
If it's anything like the YouTube, it'll probably be about 400 to 500,000 people watching.
So yeah, I think that is everything I have to say.
Yeah, we covered pretty much everything. TLDR for this episode. Diamond and Pearl Remakes look great. Pokemon Arceus looks great. Can't wait for Pokemon Snap. Don't freak out that they're not main series games.
They're not, and that's okay. Let people enjoy their stuff.
So let the casual players enjoy some time with Pokemon for a while. We've kind of had the spotlight for 2 years now.
As a competitive casual player, I am very excited for the future.
Yeah. Okay.
That's going to do it.
Get us out of here.
That's going to do it, everyone. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It costs you literally nothing, and it gives you notifications when new stuff goes live if you hit that bell that comes up too. Make sure you pound that like button if there's anything in this video that you liked. And I want you all to comment down below of the 6 starters that we're getting, what are you picking? I am probably going to go with Piplup because it is absolutely adorable. And I'm probably going to go with Rowlet.
Turtwig, Cyndaquil.
And see, that's so hard for me to say because, like, I absolutely love Infernape, but Empoleon is so cool. Empoleon's design is so cool, and it's like, design is cool, its typing is absolutely amazing, and like, the problem is there's literally 100 different water types available in Gen 4, and there's like, if they are actual faithful remasters, there's like 4 fire types. So I need to see how actually faithful remasters they are, and if they are instead faithful remasters of Platinum or what. Because if it's Platinum and I can get Magmortar, I'm okay with that.
They definitely said faithful remix of Diamond and Pearl. I would not expect anything from Platinum to be in the game.
But I also think there was an Ambipom in the trailer.
Ah.
I don't know. Well, as of now, I'm going to go with Piplup. But if it comes later where I can't get good fire types, then obviously I'm going to take the best monkey.
Turtwig, because I love Turtwig. Turtwig's my boy. Little ground turtle. And then Cyndaquil, because Cyndaquil's Cyndaquil. It's the good starter of the 3.
Meh.
I think I'd rather have Cyndaquil than Rowlet.
Decidueye is way cooler than Typhlosion. And I love
Typhlosion
Trogdor.
Burns up your Decidueye.
I love Trogdor. It is very cool, but it is not nearly as cool as Decidueye.
Yeah.
All right, so getting back to our wrap up here instead of segueing again. If you're not listening on YouTube, make sure you go down into the show notes and click that link to send you over to the YouTube channel, and then do everything we just said up above. To everyone, make sure you go and follow us on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri 25, and Carl at musical_33. You can also follow Carl and I both on Twitch at Mr. Missouri 25 and at musical. Make sure you come and join the Discord. Our community Discord is absolutely amazing, and I believe we are very quickly approaching 300 members.
That is correct. Very fastly approaching 300 members, very fastly approaching 200 subscribers on YouTube.
Which I would love to hit that in the next week, so we can say in the first year we have 200.
Yeah,
so if you're not
like
there,
our first year, and that's our next episode. It's our first year anniversary.
So make sure you go and pound that subscribe button if you haven't already. Yeah. It really, really would be a great milestone to hit for our 1 year anniversary. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. If you're so inclined, we have Anchor listener support. What is this thing called, Carl? This is your thing.
It's Anchor's listener support. So what it is you can donate anywhere from $1 to $10 to a month to just help us get things rolling for other things we got going on. We want to do merch and the website and things like that. So for as little as 25 cents a week, you can help support us and do what we do and all that stuff.
So yeah, if you're interested in that, that would be so fantastic, and we would love for your support. So I think that is going to do it for this week, everyone.
Sounds about it.
Make sure you go and do everything we said here at the end of the video. Have a good one. Peace.